Hello, in this video I'm going to show how to install OpenCV contrib with support for OVIS, the Ogre interface from OpenCV. So let's start. First of all, we need the following libraries and programs in our system. So the first program is CMake. So I assume that you have already installed CMake in your system. Secondly, let's install Visual Studio 2019 or a compatible one, because in this case we are preparing our Windows 10 system. So then let's download Ogre3D. So in this case we'll go to the GitHub website of Ogre. So I have checked that the OpenCV is compatible with different versions of Ogre, but in this case I have selected the following one. So we go to releases, and then we are in releases, we go to tags, we scroll a little bit, next, and I have selected version 1.12.13 because I already know that it works. So let's download the zip with the source files. Okay, so I'm going to save this file here. So let's check that it is already here. So that's perfect. So let's unzip it. So once we have the source files in our system, we have to compile the Ogre library before continuing with the installation. So for that we are going to use CMake. So let's start CMake. Okay, so we have to search for the source code. So in my case I'm going to copy and paste here. So this is the path of the source. Then I'm going to create a new folder, build, here in this case. So let's use this folder as the place to build the binaries and configure that. So in my case I have already detected Visual Studio 2019. So it's going to prepare your system so you can compile it. So let's wait a few seconds. So the configuration took some time and now we have received an error. So let's check what's going on. Okay, so basically we can see all the dependencies. In our case there are some extra libraries that are not installed so far. However, we are going to press generate. Okay, so let's try to open the project. So Visual Studio, so Visual Studio is already opened. So let's compile it. So we select release and then compile solution. So the process starts. We should wait for a while. So compilation continues. So let's wait a bit more. So maybe in the meantime you can start downloading OpenCV and OpenCV contrib. So let's do that. In this case, so let's start by visiting the GitHub of OpenCV. So in our case, we go to releases, and in releases we want to be sure that we are downloading OpenCV 4.5.5. So here is the source code. So we download it. Okay, very good. So in parallel, we go to OpenCV contrib in GitHub as well. We move to releases. In this case, we have to select tags, and again we find the same version we use, so 4.5.5. So let's press on zip and let's download it. So Ogre is now compiled. So there was a little bit problem with the zip set lib library, so we have to properly configure it in the CMake path. So once it has been done, now let's install it. So it's done. Okay, very good. So let's check if everything works in Ogre. So libs, binary, Ogre, Vim, sample browser. So the subsystem. Let's unzip now OpenCV and OpenCV contrib. Very good. So now let's open CMake for OpenCV. So let's select the source code. So in my case, it's in libs, OpenCV, where to build the binaries. So here, let's create a build. Okay, we have it here, and let's start with the basic configuration. It may take some time, so be patient. So this is almost done. So let's wait a little bit more because it is downloading some dependencies in the meantime. Next step will be to configure the path to the contrib modules path. Okay, here we are. So let's type extra here in order to set the OpenCV extra modules path. So we have to set it to the OpenCV contrib modules. So this is the folder that we have unzip the contrib modules. So let's configure again, now with the modified path. Okay, so once it has been updated, the CMake, let's find Ogre. So we have to set the Ogre directory here. So in my case, it is in binaries, Ogre. So we select the folder and let's try again. Once Ogre is installed, we have to select the module OVIS, and you have to click it in order to build during the compilation. So this is another trick that could be interesting for you, and is the CMake install prefix. So you have to select where you want to install the OpenCV binaries once they are compiled. So in this case, I'm going to select OpenCV 455. Okay, that's all. So you can generate your project. So this may take a while. Okay, so now you can open the project in Visual Studio. So we want to select the release version. Now here in the CMake targets, we start by selecting all build. Now you can go for a coffee or something else because it's going to take some time. During the compilation process, I have detected that I didn't enable the non-free modules of OpenCV. So I have enabled them and I'm just compiling the new blocks. So let's wait a little bit more. So the compilation has finished. Let's go now to install it. So let's do it. So the process has started. So in my case, I selected this installation place. So everything is already here. So very good. So now you are ready to start using OpenCV with OVIS. Okay, so in summary, we have installed CMake in case you don't have it installed in your system. You need also, in this case, Visual Studio 2019. So Ogre3D, I have considered version 1.12.13, but the latest one is 13.33. And you have to download and install OpenCV 455. You have to download and unpack OpenCV Concrete 455. Once you have compiled your Ogre3D, you have to select it here on the Ogre, so the Ogre version that you want to use. You have to select also OVIS to be built, and in my case I have also take advantage of this process to install the non-free packages. So everything is done, it is installed. So have fun with OpenCV. I hope that this tutorial is going to be useful for you, and see you soon.